It's the only big board in the world of draft that matters. The Suburban Ford 7 Sports Cave big board. We've got our
fancy one.
It is fancy. We like to be fancy here. We've got our names here. Dave Birkett, I would like you to take us through your mock draft. Who we got?
My mock draft. You want me to go all 5 right now, or you want
all 5? Well, we can alternate this here. Let's do. If you have the first pick, you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you're sitting there. Who you got? You're taking Winston, right?
Yeah, you need a quarterback, and I think the easy one is Jameis Winston. I mean, even though he's got the off-field issues, he's the better of the 2 quarterback prospects, the more sure of the 2 quarterback prospects. So I'm gonna put Tampa number 1, Jameis Winston.
You there? You're there with that too?
I'm going to agree.
Stoney?
I'm going to agree.
Okay.
Right there.
There it is. Second pick of the draft, Tennessee Titans. A lot of intrigue, a lot of talk about this. Are they potentially thinking, maybe we don't want this? We can trade. We can draft him and trade him. Is that kind of the deal that they might be making?
Yeah, I think that's possible. Obviously, I mean,
Right.
for our purposes, we're just going to talk about Tennessee taking it. But yeah, if you're in their position and maybe you like Zach Mettenberger, and I don't know why you would necessarily, but maybe you're looking to trade out Leonard Williams. We talked about him earlier. He's probably the best player in the draft, but I think they need a quarterback. I'm going to put Tennessee number 2 with Marcus Mariota.
They need a quarterback, but I think they like Mettenberg enough where they can say, you know what, we have to get the rest of our team better. I'm going to go Leonard Williams to the Tennessee Titans.
I like that you're switching it up a little bit.
A little disagreement early.
Yeah, that's what we want to see. All right, third pick overall. A lot of different intrigue with this pick too, because if Mariota does slip, what does Jacksonville do with that pick?
Well, yeah, Jacksonville doesn't need a quarterback no matter what. They took one last year. I wouldn't rule the receivers out. I mean, look, they struck out on a couple guys recently. Blackman. They did take Allen Robinson from Penn State, local guy, last year in the second round. So I think they're going to go defense. Their coach, Gus Bradley's a defensive guy. You can't go wrong with Leonard Williams, the best player in the draft.
And you know what?
Interesting.
And I'm obviously going to agree. They're going to go with. I'm not going to agree because I already took Williams, but they're going to go defense. They're going Fowler there.
Fowler there. I believe we have Oakland in the 4th spot.
This is where a lot of people think a receiver is coming. I don't. I gave them a defensive player in my draft today simply because I think I think Fowler is the next best player on the board. And I think Oakland, now that they have Reggie McKenzie running the show, he's shown before that he doesn't necessarily go with the consensus. I think they're going to take Dante Fowler.
Well, because Fowler is already gone, I am going to go old school Raiders. They're going with the Alabama wide receiver right
Amari Cooper.
And people love him. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad pick at all. He's the best receiver in the draft. Him and Kevin White are
Derek
probably
Carr
the top
did a
2.
nice job as a rookie. You need a receiver.
Yeah, you need to get him some weapons. There's no doubt about that.
So I'm assuming at 5, you're going with Cooper to Washington, no?
I'm not going to go with Cooper to Washington. Look, I think Cooper is a really good player. I just don't know that the way that Washington's roster is constructed that he would go there. Randy Gregory would probably be in this mix if it wasn't for the failed drug test, but I think they're going to go defense too. I'm going to go way down here. Vic Beasley.
Wow. We agree.
Hey, there we go.
Vic Beasley right there on my list.
So we're running out of time, and what I want to do here is if Mariota does fall, Philadelphia has the speculation is there. You're not going with Tebow.
Well, Chip Kelly invented the game, so you have to understand that. And
according to Chip Kelly,
right? Well, what he's doing. I mean, the McCoy trade and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the word is there hasn't been a lot of love shown for Sam Bradford yet. But if they trade Sam Bradford and draft Mariota, DeMarco Murray's going to be upset because that's one of the reasons he went to Philly was because him and Brad Bradford, they're friends.
Yeah. No, and
teammates from Oklahoma.
Everybody wants to make that Oregon connection. I think it's natural because he's signed so many Oregon players. But look, they're picking 20th. That's pretty difficult to move up from 20 to number 2, even if you're giving Sam Bradford.
And giving what you'd have to give up, not only in the draft but with your personnel to potentially get there, might be too much to do. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This is how it's going to go. So if you're making bets at home, I would follow these 2 gentlemen's perspectives to get a little cash on draft day. Coming up, we got our final thoughts. All 3 of them very different, and all 3 of them you need to hear. That's coming up on the Suburban Ford 7 Sports Cave right after this.